being like, oh, why did you join Clifton Beach in the first place?
For me, I was a nipper at Devonport Surf Lifesaving Club for many years, and then my family moved to Hobart, and I'd really enjoyed the sport, so I wanted to join a club down south. And Clifton was a great beach. There were great surf conditions, and the people were really friendly. And we also lived in Belrive, which was nice and close. So, yeah, that was the surf club for me.
Yep. Well, I joined Clifton purely because that was the local club to me. The reason I joined is because I loved surf. I grew up in surf, and I suppose I wanted a challenge to do something else in surf besides just surfing.
And if you can flick your mind back to doing your bronze course, do you guys remember like what that was like?
I actually don't remember who took my bronze. I remember that I did enjoy the course and that I was really excited that I'd be able to patrol after I completed the course. Yeah. But actually who took it, I don't remember. But I do definitely remember that I was like, I can patrol now. And yeah it was really exciting.
Bit of a step up, yeah.
Yes, Beck Brown and Sarah, forgotten her last name now, they were the main instructors. We were probably one of the last groups that were able to have sleepovers at the club. So we would actually do weekend sleepovers to be able to complete our bronze course quite quickly. So that was, I suppose that was fun because there was probably about 5 of us in the same age. Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. Yeah. And so did you guys compete in surf club?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So I think that was one of the the great things about surf club. So the competition side of it and training as well as the sort of patrolling and obviously keeping people safe at the beach. I think they were, all really great things.
Yeah.
And I think also making new friends as well.
Yes.
For me, I was really, I think, lucky in that I just formed lots of friendships with people at the club. And then when you were competing, you also formed friendships with people across the whole state.
Yep.
Well. And then I was also very fortunate. I got to represent Tasmania when I was sort of under 13, under 14. And I've still got a friend that I met when I was an under 13 in Western Australia, and I still catch up with her every now and then, and which is really nice. So I think there was just that friendships, which was really important, and I really valued that.
Yeah. Yes, I've got you being as a member of the state team in under 15s now, and Jane, you were the Open Ironwoman and Women's Board winner in 1998.
Yes.
Back then, were there a lot of girls in the sport?
There was, I suppose, because I did in under 16s. There was always a lot, especially Ulverston had a lot of girl competitors.
Yeah.
As obviously as you get through to under 18s, they start to go away. But in that year, we also had the women's ski come in.
Mm-hmm.
So that also attracted or brought other athletes. So overall, we probably still had a good dozen lot of competitors in each event. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. And so
we also had enough females. I think at Clifton we often did I think it was like the
team
relays and I think in our sort of era there was quite a lot of females at that time, which was so nice to be able to have a team in those events, because otherwise you'd either have to
and
yeah.
So it was really nice to be able to put a team.
Yes, and I actually remember, I'm pretty sure in beach sprints with the boaties, the girls' boaties, to make up teams.
Yeah.
And I think we got silver or bronze in states.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody pulling their part.
Correct. Yeah.
So what advice would you give to any girls who are considering doing their bronze now?
I would say just go for it. I mean, I think, it's a lot of fun, I think, to sort of do the course, and also really important just to gain those skills. Like I think it gives you, sort of life-saving skills that even if you, don't decide to, be a patrolling member or be involved at all in life-saving, they're just skills that are useful to have just in life generally.
Yeah.
So I would say, just go for it.
Awesome. Have you got any like experiences or stories that you feel comfortable sharing?
Oh, Jane, did you want to say anything about that one?
Oh, look, I had to redo my bronze last year because I had time off.
Yeah.
And a lot of the girls who I did it with were over the age of 20.
Yeah.
Except for one, she was a young lifeguard, but the 4 of them were all over the age of 20. And the reason they were doing it was to just, get into a friendship group.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them come from New Zealand, some of them can come from interstate. A lot of females, I suppose it's a good way to, if you're new to that area, it's just and it assists you to actually join and maybe get more friendships and gives you something to focus on, especially if you're new to the area.
What are you doing now? Like, what are the skills that you've learned in Surf Club been able to take you?
So I guess career-wise, so I'm currently working at Origin Energy in Melbourne. So I'm a senior corporate lawyer there. I sort of spent many years working at an international law firm doing intellectual property litigation, and then went in-house a couple of years ago to Hydro Tasmania, but based in Melbourne, which was really interesting. And then I've just moved to my new role at Origin Energy about 3 months ago during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Yeah.
So I've being in Melbourne, I've been at home since March. But yeah, no, it's interesting actually. I think it's just worth mentioning. I actually think I have Surf Lifesaving to thank a bit for, I guess, my career and where it's gone, because when I've had my first ever interview in Melbourne, I remember walking into the room and the first thing the interviewer actually said to me was, "You must be gutsy. You're a surf lifesaver in Tasmania, going out in all those waves. It must be freezing down there." and I remember at the time just feeling like instantly relaxed, and just then I was able just to talk about all the benefits of surf lifesaving and things like teamwork and determination and community service and all these sort of things. And so I sort of look back and I sort of feel that I think having surf lifesaving on my resume really sort of helped me get my first legal job.
Yeah,
I agree. And I also, I'm in finance, so I do a lot of finance brokering. I suppose the competitive edge comes out in me. I don't let things go very easy. So I suppose that's what being a competitor all the way through has sort of allowed me in business life, be a bit competitive and try to strive for the best outcome for everybody involved. So that's probably one thing I will say is, it's helped me be a bit more competitive in work life.
Absolutely, and that resilience, I think, too, and just you just keep trying and keep going. And a bit like in competition, you just get up and you just you want to get
You've
out.
got to keep going.
You just keep going. You just keep getting pushed back, and you just keep going. You come off the ski and you get back on, and you keep going.
You keep going. Yep.
So absolutely. And I've actually this year for the first time, I'm not sure, Jane, if you're still involved in Surf Club, but I've actually joined my local club, Sandridge.
Yep.
Recently in the last sort of week, and because I want to get back into just doing some paddling just in the bay. And it's funny, it's called a Sandridge Lifesaving Club. There's no surf because there's no surf in Port Phillip Bay. So I'm really missing the Clifton waves.
Yeah.
So it just seems really odd.
Yep.
It's a life-saving club. But that's the first time I guess joined a club recently just to get back into it. And when I moved to Melbourne, I did I did some triathlons and joined like a running group to meet people and did a little bit of touch football.
That's right.
Which was really good. But this is the first time I've sort of joined a club. And
so I'm a member of Karawa, but I don't have time with 2 kids to compete, but they do nippers, so I help out a lot in nippers. Do miss the surf, so we'll wait and see. I'm trying to get some time to enjoy just being out in the surf and wait and see.
Do you still have a ski, Jane, or a board?
I don't. My partner, he's still got his ski. It is a bit long, but I have used it. And look, I borrowed a board from the club last year when I did my bronze, and they're like, how do you know how to paddle? And it's just like, I've been doing this for years. It's just a natural, Yeah. So that was quite interesting when a lot of the young kids come up, how come you know how to paddle? And I just do, but you're too old to learn to paddle. And I've been doing this all my life, so yes.
Yeah. So, Jane, we've got you as being the winner of the over 30 ski at Aussies. We're going to see you back there anytime.
Yep. I'd like to. It's just having time. I mean, when the kids are probably a little bit older and I can do swim sessions when they're doing their swim sessions, I'll be happy to be able to compete, yes.
Perfect. Make sure Team Clifton.
Would you mind if one of the questions was some memories? Would you mind if we just
go for it?
Only because I've written 4 down. So
okay, go for it.
I thought I'd just mention that.
Yeah.
My first one was always really great fun when we were on patrols, and we used to go for roving patrols up to North Clifton, and that was always just really fun. Also, I found when I joined that the older members of the club were always just really welcoming, and they used to often take the younger ones off on their many adventures that they used to have down the beach. And one memory I have is I remember going out in the rubber ducky, and I think it might have been Dougie that was driving. I remember we went up over this massive wave and the ducky was like vertical, and I was just hanging on for dear life, and then it just crashed and I landed in the middle, and it was so sore for such a long time after that, but it was just so much fun.
Yeah.
And I just think whenever you went down to the beach and it was just, you had a beautiful day, wonderful surf conditions, and you're on patrol, but you'd spend the day sort of just out in the water on the board or ski or out in the ducky, and they were just the best days and just so much fun. And of course we're always watching the water, always focused.
Yes.
Because we were making sure everyone was safe. But we had just so much fun at the same time. And I think also another one I thought of was in winter when we used to paddle in the canal, and it was freezing cold, and we were all in our thermals and beanies on, and we'd paddling up and down the canal, and you'd just be thinking, oh, we're crazy. But it was just what you did, and it was just the normal thing. And my last one was I remember once we had a carnival down at Clifton, and it was really difficult, challenging conditions, and I remember the surf boats went out and a wave hit them and all these surf boats turned over, and the whole beach, like I'll never forget, the whole beach just straight away went up to that end of the beach, and everyone was sort of counting heads to make sure everyone was accounted for. And I think there were some injuries, but everyone was accounted for and came out. But I just remember that just being there on the beach that day and just seeing these massive boats just turn in the conditions, and I just remember that stuck with me as just being, gosh, wow, like that's just, I guess it's
hardcore,
it's a dangerous sport and what the competitors sort of put themselves in. But they were just some of my memories that I just wanted to mention. Jane?
Yeah, I had lots of memories, all different. Similar, I suppose I remember my first state titles, I think we were at Ulverston or Burnie. I actually was recruited to do a surf race with the boys. So that was great to feel that I was, I suppose, incorporated in a boys' event. And I know some of the boys were a bit disappointed because I out-sprinted them in the swim race. So that was, that was an interesting, being a 15-year-old being incorporated into a men's race. But yeah, the roving patrols. I do remember Stuart conning me to swim out to the point. That was probably one of my memories, and I got halfway and I've gone, no, I'm not coming any further. But he made it. He swam it out to the point. It is a long way. But I know, once I started, I couldn't see the bottom. I've gone, I'll turn back. And I suppose then the rest would be some search and rescue stuff we've had to do. and some of the, I suppose, first aid, and especially the man who climbed the cliffs at Clifton and fell. That was an interesting time, how we all banded together and got him out of a difficult situation before the ambulance could get there. So, yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, guys.